You look so fluffy right now.
My fluffy back?
He lifts it up.
You have to do it.
Alright, I'll get it.
It's a mess in here, but the solar install is underway. We got 300 watts of panels here. There's a third one. 1, 2, 3. Going on the roof today. So right now I'm just taking it kind of slow, getting started, making my plan, and doing some little housekeeping projects like mounting the mounting feet on the charge controller, and I'm going to go mount the brackets on the solar panels before I get them up on the roof. Prepping my cables, figuring out where the hell I'm going to install this thing. This threw me for a loop. This is way, way bigger than I was expecting out of this charge controller. I thought it'd be half that size at most. So the places where I thought I might mount it, inside where it wouldn't be too terribly ugly, I have to rethink all of that. And I've got some issues with cable lengths, and I don't know where I'm putting this yet. We have a couple of options. I'm just gonna have to like put it in places and run the cables to it and see if I like it. So more on that in a minute. So here's my dilemma. This thing is huge. And honestly, even if it weren't, I'd still have a problem, because I was gonna mount it up here, all nice and tucked away in this box, but it's way too big for that. Now I could still build like a mount plate for it and set it on the outside and have some room behind it for wiring. That'd be cool. Or I could just fasten it straight to here. It'd be kind of in the way, but I don't mind looking at the tech. The different problem is that it came with these 8-foot tray cables to go to the battery. Can I get larger cables? Yeah, totally. But these are the appropriate gauge of cable, which is the maximum size that fits these terminals. So I can't get a bigger cable. And if I go longer, I start worrying about voltage drop. So these are 8 feet long. This is probably my best option. I can start treating this as an electrical bin, mount it to the side in here, cut holes through the back to get to the battery bay. It's like a tiny little jump from here to the battery bay. I also need to verify that I actually have wires that are long enough for the solar panels to actually get all the way down to that bin in the basement. I think they should be, and the good news is I can probably afford to go longer with these, because I'm going to wire up our panels in series rather than parallel. And the difference there is that in parallel, your amperage would go up and your voltage would stay the same. In series, the voltage goes up and the amperage stays the same. What that means is less amps being pushed, and I don't need as thick of a wire for lower amperage. The trade-off is that the performance of the panels are no longer independent. If a shadow from a tree goes over one, they'll all decrease proportionally in their output. So it binds their output together in amperage, but that means that I can run the cables longer. I don't have to, like, I think the benefits are there. I think the pros outweigh the cons in this case. Plus, it's like way easier to wire them up at the panel. I don't have to like join a bunch of stuff together. I just plug them into each other and go. All right, so I've got the, what they call Z brackets, but the feet mounted on the panels. So these are ready to go. I'm running out of shit to do that doesn't help me put off getting up there and drilling holes in the roof. I have decided to mount the charge controller in the storage bin outside. So that decision's been made. I can move forward with that. I'm missing one piece, which is like super frustrating. There's a bunch of different kits on Renogy's website, and they have a standard kit, a premium kit, and an RV kit. The premium kit is what you need because the premium kit comes with all of the appropriate fuses that you should put in place, like from a safety perspective, and it also comes with an MPPT charger, which is going to be more efficient, and it can handle more panels, more wattage. It's just more expandable. So for a lot of reasons, that's the way to go. And it also comes with a Bluetooth module that lets you monitor everything from your phone, which is going to be perfect when this charge controller ends up down in the basement where I can't go look at the screen on it. I'll just be able to pull it up on my phone. Awesome, great. The one thing that this premium kit didn't come with, that the other kits do come with, is a cable entry housing. The standard kit comes with it, but the kit that I bought didn't. cable entry housing is exactly like it sounds like. It's the housing where the cables enter through the roof. So if I'm going to drill holes in here, if I don't have a housing, I don't have a way to waterproof and make that weather tight. So I do have to get a cable entry housing before I can drill everything in. But I can, like, it's everything but pushing the cables through. It's going in the mail today. Get it by the weekend and I'll be able to finish everything up. But I'm pressing on. Trying to decide on placement here. This is where I originally wanted them, and I think it looks nice. They're towards the front, which is where I want to do all my cabling, right here by this vent. But I do have all this open space back here, kind of on the back side, but it would also kill my ingress and egress, like up here to get stuff to work. I actually really like this. Okay, so here's what we got. We've got them bolted down, and then this is lap sealant over the feet. See in the middle. I've got them connected up in series with my main negative and my main positive over here. Alright, so getting up there and drilling holes in the roof was definitely mentally taxing, but it's done. I think I did a good job. There's still plenty left to do this. I still have to wire up the battery bay. More work in the battery bay. Running out of space, but I do have to put this inline fuse to protect the solar charger. I still have to run my battery tray cables to get back to the solar charger. And I feel like I'm missing something. There's something else that I have to wire up that I haven't thought about. I have the Bluetooth sensor and my battery temperature sensor, but these are just cables I have to pull through one of the places I already mentioned. I've got some more electronics on the way, something that we have noticed, and this is a sad day. My beautiful new beadboard ceiling in the bathroom is leaking. Look at it. It's all effed up. So we thought we had gotten, and in fact I did reseal this, and this looks great. The skylight's not leaking at all, but there's still a leak happening, and it's got to be coming from this stupid fan, and this fan sucks. Look at it, listen to it. It's so loud. It's a piece of junk. It's coming out. We're going to replace it with something much nicer. This one's nicer, but we're going to replace it with one even nicer than that. So it'll be a lot more quiet. We're going to get rid of, on the roof, there's a big dome around that thing, and that's so you can open it. Like this one, if I open it, rain will come in. That one, if you open it, has a box around it, so it opens inside the box. You can open it all weather. Somewhere under that is where the leak is coming from, so I've got to pull that off anyway. If I'm going to pull it off, might as well replace the whole thing. And there's a great new fan from MaxAir that has the weather cover integrated with it. You just open it up and the whole thing expands, and when you collapse it down, you don't have that big box on the roof. So that's going to be cool. Less melt points, like you don't screw any of that in. It's going to be better. Okay, we're back. And a couple of things have come in the mail. Excuse the furnace noise, it's cold. It snowed last night. A multimeter, which is going to be pretty important. Not totally necessary, but pretty smart for making sure I have my polarity wired up and testing the panels, and my cable entry housing or cable entry gland to run the wires through. And I had one more change of plans, final, So rather than dropping it here, which is easy enough to get to from the roof side, and then having to like conduit across this carpeted ceiling, I'm actually going to drop it down right here in the cabinet and then cut across. That won't be too disruptive to our cabinet space. Bring it through here into this little nook, down through the bottom, and this again is my wiring bus down the side there. So I think that'll work. I can't put it in too close to the edge of the sides because there is a in the framing of the structure there's some sort of steel plate that rolls over the rounded edge. I know because I've bounced nails off of it with the nail gun. I've hit it with self-tapping screws, which actually was nice when I was putting the panels in, but I'm not going to be able to drill a big hole through that easily, and I don't want to. I can't just drop it down right here. That would be the ideal. If I could just get it right there, it'd be totally hidden away and be awesome. But I do have to get at least like probably 6 inches out from the side. Alright, first thing I want to do, by the way, I'm not too cool, it's just really bright up here with this white roof and plenty of sunlight, is I need to actually test these panels because I haven't yet. So I'm going to hit those with the multimeter and add my fuses to it and make sure that that all looks good. And then once those test out, I measured from the inside, ideally about 16 inches off the center side of this, which is right under this stupid antenna, is where I should put my cable entry housing. So that will be the plan, is to drill a hole right there and drop that down into the cabinet. Alright, so we're going to look at the voltage on our panels real quick. Bada boom. 63 volts. So these are wired up in series. So divide that by 3 and we're pulling, you know, around 20 volts per panel, which is like really good. That means we're getting good sun right now. And probably my shadow on these panels is hurting it, but okay. So now we fuse them up and wire it. The panels are good. That's negative. Now let's put a hole in the roof. Right here. Yellow. Much easier than it had any right to be. Now, well, I found styrofoam. Did I get all the way through to the cabinet? So that did not go through all the way, but I've got a longer bit. Got the big dog. That ought to make it through. Somewhere. That was about perfect. I'm just gonna widen this out and then we'll pull cables through. This is gonna be a pain in the butt. Alright, I need to go make sure that it's pulling through before I stuff too hard. Good thing I came to check, because I did hit the hole, but it was kind of pushing this panel down. We're in. How are we making that? Probably need to get Paige to come help me pull. Okay, Paige was napping too hard to come help, but I figured it out. I'm just gonna put some butyl tape around the bottom, stick it down, and then some lap sealant over the edge to, you know, see what up. There it is with the butyl tape holding it down. Well, as usual, my sealant job is kind of ugly, but as soon as the butyl tape wasn't holding it down, I was like, I just got to put some screws in that. So I did, and that ought to hold it. Okay. Finished wiring job. Got the cords kind of taped together with butyl tape and stuck down, and then a dollop of lap sealant over the top. I was told would be enough to hold these in place for years. So, all done up top. moving on to the inside. Here we are back on the inside again. So, they come in here. I had my math a little bit wrong somehow. Because I'm dumb, that's how. And this was supposed to be a little bit further over, but I'm fine because I hit the cabinet, and that's all that matters. And I've got, looks like just the right amount of length to run across here, down through here, down this, where I'm put the conduit here, into that hole. So for my panel, my solar panel wires, I already lost track of which one was positive and negative. When the sun's out tomorrow, I'll just use my multimeter again to check the polarity. For the battery cables, I'm going to go ahead and tape up these ends so they're not exposed because they will be hooked up to the battery. And then I'm going to mark the positive one so that it's real easy for me to wire all this up tomorrow. See? Positive. Alright, so the battery bay has quickly become a freaking mess, but it's all there. So that's where we're wired into the shunt that goes out for the solar charger, and then this little guy right here is the inline fuse for the positive end of the solar charger, which is just mounted to the wall here and tapped into the positive lead over here. A little housekeeping project for myself tomorrow. I'm going to come out here and label all these wires so I know what they are. Good morning. It got dark last night, so I couldn't really film it all, but I got all of the cabling done as far as like routing it, the battery wiring, and the solar wiring all coming to the spin. And now, before I mount the unit, I'm testing everything out. So I've just gotten the battery hooked up, and it's showing 12.6 volts. I'm showing 12.7 up here, which is what's cool about the battery monitor because it's more accurate. The voltage drop between the shunt and the battery is very little because there's only a wire, you know, well, it's longer than that, but maybe 12 inches long. Whereas this is 8 feet of cable. So there's, you know, a tenth of a volt dropping across that run. And so this is going to be my accurate measure, but this is what the solar charger sees. So now I'm going to hook up the Bluetooth monitor and make sure it's programmed for the right batteries. And then once everything's set up, then we'll plug the solar in and see if it works. We are charging. 8 amps at 13 volts. 107 watts. We've got 300 watts of solar on the roof, but it's a winter morning. It's not even midday yet. So that's pretty dang good for... You know, it's not like we're getting direct overhead sun right now. Henry was a big help. He took a break from riding his bike to help hold the doors open for me. We're all wired up, but the controller's not mounted yet in here. I just got to get it mounted to the side, but it's working! Having a hard time getting over it, how cool it is. It was not fun trying to get a driver in here, so I didn't film this, but we are fully mounted. And honestly, we don't have that much excess cable. I might just tuck this back. I was going to cut some of it off, but we're talking about like maybe a foot of excess. It's not that much, so I'll probably just zip tie it up and tuck it out of the way. But we are charging. Now I've just got a couple more cables to run. I'm pulling the cord for the Bluetooth monitor through, and then I need the temperature sensor for the battery. So this is where I've been routing all the cables in that box. It's kind of hard to see because there's this piece of frame in the way, but there's a lot of cords here. Goes through a little hole. So I just need to pull the temperature sensor and the Bluetooth cord through there.
No animals under here?
No animals. Just deadass.
No scary deadass under here?
No, just nice deadass.
Okay.
I maybe should have drilled a bigger hole. I don't have a lot of room.
Oh. You could try again, Dad.
Could try again.
Yeah, you could always try again. Now, what are these big tanks for?
Those are our new catalytic converters. Remember when they got cut off before? That's what those are. Those are the catalytic converters. You know all about those, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to drill another hole in this thing, little Henry.
I remember that.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it on the inside. I can actually reach that. Ta-da! So there's the new hole. That fits perfect.
What's going on?
Oh man, this thing's got a big old knob on it. Are you for real? Are you for real, temperature sensor? I'm gonna have to pass this through the other way. Can't see. Hello, probe. Come on through. It's a little bit messy in here. That'll bother me enough one day to fix it, but most importantly, there's nothing dangling down here. That makes me happy. That was a lot of standing on my head, but really only because where I chose to mount this and to pull these cables underneath. But I'm going to mount the Bluetooth antenna somewhere in here, and I'm going to start closing all this up. Finger glove. And we're done. Finally. A couple days. Took our time with it. It's not perfect. I'm done until I get tired of like the quality of finish, and then maybe I'll come make it nicer, but I'm ready to be done with it and just enjoy it for a bit. First, I gotta clean up the rig. It's kind of a war zone in here. This is what happens when you do a project in the RV. There's someone on Reddit. Some of you have found me in the RV living subreddit. I hang out there a little bit. There's someone in there that's like really pushing this sub about cooking in small spaces. Like if you're there, you know. And that's cool and everything, but how about doing projects in an RV? Because that's, you know, that's what I want to see, is how the f do you keep from making this kind of mess every time you do anything? This, installing solar panels, looks like this. You know, also looks like this, changing a light bulb. Everything. So let's get it cleaned up. All right, that's cleaned up. I think I had every tool in the garage out for this one. It's not too bad. Not perfect. Dad tier is what I call this. This is dad tier craftsmanship right here. And the sun is fading. Only getting 3 watts now. Oh, we're losing power. Shit. Shut it down.